Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hello, howdy, how are you? Sheesh. I'm still all over the place, still a nut job. I'm still trying to I've achieved a lot. I've accomplished quite a bit. I'm just doing it in quite a interesting way. It's sort of all over the place. But you know what? If I'm getting it done, then I suppose that really is all that matters, right? I'm not in a race with anybody but myself. Put that on a bumper sticker. Well, actually don't, because that'd be mine. I need to patent that shit. I'm not in a race with anybody but myself. Is that already a saying? Maybe that's a saying. I don't understand how the whole, you can coin a phrase, like Paris Hilton saying that's hot, or Trump saying get fired, or Jerry Seinfeld saying yada, yada, yada. Like, these are already terms that exist in our language. They are already terms that we use every day. So if somebody else starts saying them all of a sudden, by the way, I started saying yada, yada, yada. Jewish people started saying yada, 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 and Jerry's Jewish, obviously. And his people have been saying that for quite a while. And people have been saying that's hot and you're fired for a long time. So I've never understood how someone can coin a phrase. Maybe I just don't understand what the term coin a phrase means. I suppose I should know what the fuck I'm talking about before I just randomly start saying shit, right? More people should do that. At least I can admit it. Sorry, I'm getting into my change jar. And doing this again while doing a podcast, because I always feel the need to make as much noise as I possibly can and make it as unprofessional and shit quality as possible. And breathe heavily also, and use the word also a lot. So yeah, the coining the phrase thing. I suppose I need to look it up. I guess maybe it's just making it famous, bringing more light to it, saying it a lot and making it famous again. I don't know. Again, I guess I should know what I'm talking about before I say it. I suppose all I'm getting at is, why do people get credit for saying that and make money and make t-shirts and make merchandise off of phrases that have already been said? I don't know. Anyway, I am being productive, but I'm all over the place because I went to put my dog Nora's ashes into this. I'm getting a necklace made with her ashes in it, and they send you a vial and the little funnel and stuff. And I had asked for an urn. I specifically asked for an urn in which I could later get into to get her ashes, that I could open and spread some of the ashes onto my property, and also mix her ashes in with my mom and dad's ashes and make a cool glass art thing. But at any rate, I wanted it to open, and I cannot get it open. It seems pretty damn sealed shut. So I'm going to ask if I can get help. I'm going to see if I can get someone else to open it. But I really feel like it's sealed shut, and that's disturbing, because that means the only way that I can get her ashes out is by breaking it. And I feel like that's extraordinarily disrespectful, and I feel weird, and it bothers me. But at the same time, it's really funny because my my friend was like, well, What would Nora do in this situation if she knew that you were supposed to, spread her ashes onto the property, which is what she would want very much, and she knew that you were supposed to have it opened and not sealed shut? She would just bite it in the face. She'd be like, "You break that open, get in there, bite it in the face." And I'm like, "That's true." She would. She'd be like, "Frick it, just get in there, open it, do what you got to do." But I have to be very, 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 very careful to not like mix her ashes in with anything. So I have to put up the proper precautions. Gosh, I can't talk. And make sure that I do this respectfully and I don't, contaminate her ashes or anything, and that I save enough to be able to make the two different, the necklace and then the glass art. So it's a whole thing, but then it got me like crying again and missing my dog because we're coming up on like 3 weeks. And just everybody is like losing their dogs. Like every freaking person, every time I turn around, someone is telling me that they had to, that their dog passed away. And I'm just really, really, again, I'm sick and tired of like horrible people in the universe living while good things die. It just, it makes you go, well, fuck it. Why in the hell am I trying so damn hard when asshole people are getting rewarded? Sorry, I'm really making a gigantic mess. Well, not a mess. I'm cleaning and making a lot of noise, but it's so infuriating to me to know that lazy people get rewarded. People that have no drive, no confidence, no respect for themselves or others are rewarded. And people go around nowadays just wanting more and more and more and not being happy with stuff that they're getting for free, handed to them. And then they're crying about stuff that I'm like, there are people out there trying so hard to make you happy. And it just seems like no matter what, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears are put into trying to make you happy and make you succeed and make you want to care for yourself and have respect for yourself and try to give you the tools to help you get better and get out of that funk. And you still look for reasons to be miserable, reasons to fail. Fail before you even try. And then I'm starting to just get where I'm like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm just going to go to work, go home, and turn into a robot that's like, do the same effing thing over and over again, Groundhog's Day. I've talked about this before, I know. But so it's like Groundhog's Day, right? Just like Groundhog's Day. Wow, I swear I've heard this before. Because I get in this cycle and I do really well and then I don't. And then I do really well and then I don't. And then I cry a lot and I'm emotional and then I'm a robot and I don't cry at all when I probably should. And I don't feel anger or sadness when I probably should. And then I do feel anger and sadness when I probably shouldn't. And I'm a drama queen and I'm thankful and then I'm entitled. And it's a whole fucking roller coaster of emotions. And I'm like, well, I feel this way because I'm an insomniac and I don't get any sleep. Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it because you can read 1,000 studies talking about how absolutely detrimental it is to not get sleep. You are supposed to get at least, bare minimum, 6 hours of sleep. And yes, I know it depends on the person and all this stuff, but 6 hours. That is, minimum. And I do not get 6 hours, nor do I sleep like in a row. I sleep for like an hour, wake up for anywhere for 10 minutes to an hour and a half. Then I go to sleep. Then I wake up. It's that whole thing. And so that has a huge part in my emotions and why I'm up and down roller coaster. The fact that I hurt. My body is just in pain because I hunch over a lot. I've hunched over for so long. And then at my job, I have to hunch over a boatload and I lift a lot. And sometimes I don't always lift the right way. And I'm not a spring chicken anymore, although I know that's not really relevant because age has, of course, some to do with it. Yes, of course. But it's also how you treat yourself, how you eat, if you exercise, if you stretch, if you have good energy, good spirit, good soul, all of that. But yes, of course, also just genetics and that. But so that plays a lot into why I don't sleep and why I'm like not so gung ho. But and then of course, my surroundings, when there's a lot going on in the world that's negative, negativity breeds negativity, right? And when you're surrounded by everybody complaining and everybody bitching about how they want more and they don't have enough, and that gets old. You see it on the media, you see it in the news, you see it on the streets, you hear it from, friends, coworkers, spouses, family, and you're just like, and then you start, and then they're thinking that about you. And you're just like, I'm a happy person, damn it. I really am. And I'm trying. I'm trying to do all of the things. I am trying my hardest to breathe, to let go of the things I cannot control, to look for the good, to focus on the good, to be a good person no matter who or what I'm surrounded by, to take out the toxic so that it isn't so hard to be good because you want to surround yourself by good so it just rubs off on you. And you're like, man, they're feeling good. I can't bum them out. I don't want to bum out my family or my friends or my coworkers. I don't want to bum out my customers. I don't want to bum out anything that's around me. I want to make sure that I'm happy and positive so that, again, positivity breeds positivity, negativity breeds negativity. So there's all that. And I feel like I need to, take more vitamins, drink more water, because there's also that. I definitely don't drink enough water. And I don't do enough for myself, like I've talked about in the previous podcast. I struggle with trying to do things for myself because I feel so freaking guilty. I feel like I have to earn doing something good for myself. So all day today, I've been like, okay, I'm going to get this, this, and this done. And I'm going to go around my house and I'm just going to do stuff. And then when I feel like I've done enough around the house, I'll reward myself with XYZ. And then I'll do that. And then I'll go, okay, that was good. I rewarded myself. And then I'll be like, okay, now I'm going to do stuff again. And I won't really necessarily have a list of things I'm going to do. I'll just start doing it. Like I've always said, Nike, I just do it. Don't overthink it. Just start doing it. So I just start doing stuff. And that leads to, sure, maybe I get a little bit done in one room and a little bit done in another room, but I'm still doing stuff. I'm still being productive. And then I'm like, all right. And whenever I kind of just stop and feel like I've done enough and I start realizing I've been working for a while and I come out of reality and I look around, I'm like, oh, it's been quite a while. I'm going to reward myself with something that I like. And then I'm like, Jesus, I'm not a dog. I'm not, a child getting a sticker on their chore board. Why am I feeling like I have to earn doing something for myself on my day off? I've already earned it by working full time, overtime most of the time. I've earned it by the fact that I do take care of my animals and take them on good walks. And, I maintain my home while working and stuff. And so if I want to go take pictures or go on a walk by myself, I don't know why I feel like I need to earn these things. And then, you start getting into the psyche of it and you're like, well, because when I was a kid, these things happened and I was around these certain things and I was told certain things. So therefore, I always feel like I have to earn getting attention or earn someone's, love or earn someone's um, respect or gratitude or whatever. And I have to, I have so much insecurities. I have so many insecurities, and I have so much emotionally just freaking going on in my brain that I just feel like I guess I'm not like worth it, or I have to earn things. I don't know. It's a whole fucking thing. It's just, I'm a psychiatrist's wet dream. It's problematic, and I'm working on it. Like I said, I really have been. I'm doing better. Doesn't maybe seem like it, but I am, because at least I'm acknowledging it, and I realize when I'm starting to go down that path. I realize when I'm spiraling. I realize when I'm starting to not do stuff for myself. I realize when I'm, getting involved in other people's business, and, and then I step back, and then I stop, and then I do podcasts to remind myself. It's like I do podcasts to keep myself accountable, no matter who's listening. If everybody stopped listening, if nobody listened to this podcast and I didn't even have one single listener, I would still do it, because it's like my way of keeping myself accountable. Just like when like an addict, like an alcoholic, or maybe someone that was on, heroin, goes around and tells everybody, hey, I'm a heroin addict. Hey, I'm an alcoholic. They tell everybody so that people will maybe hold them accountable, so that they can hold themselves accountable. So that maybe if someone sees them drinking or doing heroin, they'd be like, hey, remember, do you really want to do this? So I feel like I have to kind of like talk about these things. And I know I sometimes not sometimes, I all the time ramble and I babble, and I don't always know what the fuck I'm talking about. And, this is more of a, like I say all the time, this is not a news channel, although the news does not know what the fuck they're talking about most of the time, most news channels. And most of the time, the media and, social media outlets never know what they're talking about, and they don't have facts. I'm not claiming to either, you know. I'm just out here talking about stuff that keeps me up at night, things that prevent me from sleeping. And sometimes it's going to be politics. Sometimes it's going to be my own brain and my own weird mental illness. I'm just bananas. I'm batshit crazy. But I'm trying. I really am trying. And I'm just getting so frustrated with absolute animals out there, people behaving so horrifically and not being held accountable. And not only not being held accountable, but being praised. It's being promoted. I saw this vile, disturbing video of these kids who looked like they were no more than 10 years old. 10 years old at the most. I'd say between 7 and 10 years old. And they were African American. And there were, I don't know, 4 of them, boys and girls. And the girls were twerking and getting down in like a wheelbarrow position. And the boys, that again, these were like 7 to 10-year-old boys and girls, the boys were getting behind the girls, holding up their legs like a wheelbarrow and pretending to have sex with them from behind in a very, very graphic way. And then the girls would bend over and twerk and push and grind their butt and private areas all up into each other. And the parents were just laughing and videotaping it. Now, isn't that like pedophilia? Shouldn't that be against the law? We're promoting videotaping minors very much. This was very, very, very clearly. Ooh, I just got a call in the middle of all that. Anyway, these are very, very clearly minors, and I'm talking minors. I'm not talking like, 16, 17-year-olds. Not that that makes it okay. I'm just saying we're not talking 16, 7-year-olds. We're talking like between 7 and 10. And the girls were like in wheelbarrow position while the boys were behind them, holding onto their legs, shoving their penises and grinding it up into the back of these girls. And now, granted, they had clothes on. The boys and the girls, yes, they were wearing clothes. They were clothed. But what in the actual hell? And this is being videotaped by, I'm assuming, adults. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's being videotaped. You can see adults in the background. So if it's not being videotaped by an adult, there are very clearly adults that you see in the background and that you see laughing and you hear laughing at these kids, promoting it, thinking it's just the greatest thing in the world. I mean, how can you sleep at night knowing that Biden opened up the border so wide and let all of these sex traffickers in, these pedophiles in, and then on top of that, we're promoting mutilating minors, cutting off their body parts, injecting themselves with drugs that absolutely ruin their lives, completely affect their lives in all negative ways, no benefits. And it's forever. You can't reverse it. They keep acting like you can reverse it, and no, you cannot. And then we're promoting these type of videos and this type of behavior. We're promoting promiscuity. I can't say that word very well. Promiscuity. I can't talk. I'm like word salad. I'm Bidening and Harrising out. God, I sound like Kamala and Joe. But we're promoting promiscuity in minors, and I don't even like that as an adult. I can't stand the way that a lot of these women, adult women, dress when they've got these deep, plunging V dresses that show quite literally half, if not a little more than half, of their boobs, their breasts. That just barely covers up their nipples. And then they've also got a slit in their dress that is from like starting right below their ass down to their leg. And I'm like, why are you even wearing a dress? I feel like as a husband or as a future husband, as a boyfriend, I'd be like, if you're already showing off your body to everybody, then I don't feel special. I don't feel special at all if you're sitting there showing your body to everybody. What do you have to offer me? You're barely covering your coochie and your butt. You're barely covering your breasts. And if you want to dress that way, it's fine. I totally think you should do it. I think you should dress how you want to dress. I just personally feel like you should be happy with your body. And if you are proud of your body, that's wonderful. I think it's amazing to be proud of your body. You should be. You should rock that body. Man or woman, no matter your shape, size, skin color, whatever, rock that body. But I feel like we also don't need to, there is indecent exposure. You know, there is that whole Kanye and what's her face that, you don't, come on. Like kids don't need to see this. Kids watch us. And when you've got Cardi B and you have these women that dance so provocatively, and now you have J-Lo kissing all over everybody. Like, so women, and then they talk about women's rights and women's lib. And I'm like, but is that really promoting being a woman? Is that what you want a woman to look like? You want a woman to promote her body, that your body and your sexuality is what gets you somewhere? I thought that was what we were trying to run away from. I thought we were trying to be progressive. I thought we were supposed to move away, make progress. I thought we weren't wanting to use our bodies for jobs and to get attention. And now all of a sudden we're saying we should absolutely use sex and our bodies. I'm just so confused. And then our kids are confused clearly too. We're giving them a lot of mixed messages. That keeps me up because I have grandkids. And I see the way that really young kids dress. And I'm just like, I'm not saying my grandkids, I'm just saying young kids. It is so insane. Like, I'm not sure how a parent can dress their child in such provocative clothes and be like, yep, I'm going to go out and I'm going to promote this. I'm going to promote my daughter or my son, like those jeans that are like half down your ass and you can see like all of your underwear. And then you put a belt on. I'm like, so the belt is to hold it around your knees? and then you can barely walk and you look like a penguin. I don't understand this look. Someone needs to explain to me why that look started. It's bizarre. But we don't need to promote that. I mean, again, I'm not against promoting you being proud of your body, no matter your shape or size or color or whatever. But I don't feel like the whole world needs to see, everything all the time. I think again, balance, right? I feel like balance really is a yin yang kind of thing, a yin yang kind of thing. And I don't like what we're doing to our children. Not to mention the fact that we're dumbing them down because we don't expect anything out of them. We're just handing out awards for just simply showing up. We don't expect them to know how to read or write English. We don't expect them to know how to speak English, write English, read English, to know basic math. Again, at least here in the state of Oregon. So what are we doing? How is it that that's not love? And these parents that are being allowed to go to doctors and take their minor children to a doctor and have these injections when they are like 10 and 12 years old. They should be in prison. Or they should not even be in prison, actually, because again, prisons are crowded right now. Prison doesn't really do much. And like I've talked about on my past podcast, prison needs it needs a revamp. We need to spring clean the shit out of that. We need to get in there and just toss a bunch of, we need to be like Doge and get in there and just start back to the drawing board, because it doesn't work. And our reoffense rates prove it. They prove that the way that we do things is not working. Look, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But if it is broken, we need to fix it. Not put a Band-Aid on it. Not hold our finger over, plug it up with our finger. Not cover our eyes and pretend it's not there. Cover our ears and pretend we can't hear and see what's going on. That's obviously not the way. That's the maybe Democrat way to solve it. The ones that claim that they love everybody and care about everybody. The ones that are all about MS-13 and the rapists and the sex traffickers and all of that. But fuck the people that are American in jail for no reason. Some of them are innocent. And then some deserve to be in there to do some time, yes. But then again, it's all about the mental health. So we have to focus on everybody having access to counseling before prison, so that we don't go to prison, so that we can try to prevent people from going to prison, because we need to focus on people having access to mental health to address any mental health issues that may, contribute to incarceration. We need to address family. Family needs to be there. We need to have a mom and a dad. We need to have structure. We need to have consequences and accountability for our actions, starting in our, when they're kids, starting in our home, when they are kids, when they are children. We need to teach them right and wrong. We need to teach them respect. We need to teach them to believe in something. Doesn't have to be God, but something other than themselves. We need to teach them respect. All of that could prevent people from going to jail in the first place. All of that could prevent people from going to prison in the first place, from wanting to mutilate themselves in the first place, from wanting to cut off their body parts in the first place. Maybe people need to stop getting divorced. Maybe people shouldn't get married for the wrong reasons, therefore ending in divorce. Sometimes you can co-parent. You don't have to be married. That's one thing about the South that drives me crazy. You shouldn't just get forced to be married because someone's pregnant. Sometimes you shouldn't get married. Should mom and dad both parent? Should mom and dad both be present? Yes, absolutely, 100%. I think both parents need to do that. Parent. Both parents need to be present. But it doesn't mean you have to get married just because you're pregnant. I don't believe in that. But you can definitely co-parent without having to get married. So, of course, as statistics prove, having both parents in the house will cut down on incarceration. Having some type of faith in something other than yourself, not being, narcissistic, would cut down in that. having parents that hold children accountable and have consequences for their behavior so that kids grow up understanding consequences for actions, and having a job so that kids are not bored, therefore seeking out other things to do, watching out who your kids hang out with, watching, your own behaviors, how we as adults treat others and as we as adults behave because they watch us. All of these things can prevent incarceration. Getting on, addressing again any kind of mental issues that might be there and getting the right type of either medication or counseling or getting involved in like karate or boxing or photography or kayaking or all of the above or whatever. But the way we're doing it clearly isn't working. And right now our prisons are overcrowded. Our tax money is going to that. It's going to something that is not working. It's not working. Again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But if it's broken, stop spending our taxes on something that isn't working. Stop sending people to jail when we could have more trade programs. I used to work for Job Corps. I've talked about this before. Job Corps is an amazing program. It's a trade school. And these kids have to earn. They get to stay there for free. I mean, again, our tax dollars pay for it, but this is a good thing. This is something I would think that all of us would be for, except again, Democrats or leftists because they don't want our kids to be educated and actually do well and succeed and have a brain. But they teach you various trades. For example, seamanship. For example, CNA or dental hygienist assistant or welding or carpentry or electrician or plumbing or chef or, on and on and on, or tax, being an accountant. Things like that. And they stay in a dorm. It's ages 16 to 24, at least it used to be. I don't know if it's changed. A lot of them have closed down, unfortunately, because again, no one wants something that actually works. No one wants something that actually furthers education for children and makes them succeed. Oh, fuck no, we don't want that. No, no, no. We just want them to be sex trafficked and ripping themselves apart and tearing off, hating themselves and cutting off their body parts and getting abortions and, somehow cutting off their body parts, but also showing every single ounce of themselves and going around making sex tapes of themselves and having that launch their career. No, we're going to promote that. But Job Corps, ages 16 to 24, lower income, people that can't really afford to necessarily go to college, or maybe are kind of on the brink of they might go to juvenile, they might go to juvie. And so they're trying to better themselves. And so you can go there, learn a trade, and while you are learning that trade, they do not let you graduate unless you actually know the trade. What a concept, right? They don't let you leave there unprepared, ill-prepared. They even teach you how to do resumes and how to do job interviews. And in return, you get to live on campus, have your meals paid for, and you get to live in a dorm-style place where you are asked to keep your room and your living room and your kitchen and your living quarters clean, and you get scored. And if it's not up to the residential advisor's standards, then you get dinged and you lose certain privileges if your rooms aren't, if your area isn't maintained at a certain level. So it teaches you to be responsible for yourself. It teaches you to be clean and have respect for yourself and your living area and respect for others, because other people don't want to live in your filth or smell you. When you're living in a communal area, other people have to smell you and be around you. So it's teaching you to be mindful of your others and to have respect for yourself and to learn how to be responsible. And again, accountability. And then you earn, you're allowed to leave on the weekends and leave overnight, but you have to be at a certain privilege level. And you earn that privilege level basically by just doing things that are asked of you and not fucking around. And if you don't fuck around and you don't get into trouble, like sneak alcohol onto premises or sneak a boy or a girl into your room, because you're not supposed to have boys or girls in your rooms, only in the communal areas. So You do what you're asked, then you earn leaving campus, and you can be gone on Friday and Saturday, and you're expected to be back by 10 o'clock on Sundays. And you can even earn leaving on the weekdays, and it's a wonderful thing, and they learn a trade, and now we don't have those anymore. And it's sad. I don't know. These things keep me up. But again, that's me worrying about things that I can't fix. So then I'm like, well, I'm going to work on the dog rescue because I've really been wanting the dog rescue. So I've been working on that. And I keep hitting dead ends. And again, it's not like me to be discouraged by that. I love dead ends in a way because I'm like, oh, don't tell me I can't do that. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me you're going to stop me. Fuck you. I'm like a bull in a china shop. And plus I'm a Taurus. So I'm going to be like, fuck you. I am charging right through that. And then I start to, and then I get sidetracked because I want to, again, help other people. And when I start realizing I'm really getting absorbed into something I like if I start photography again or riding horses again or whatever, I'm like, oh man. And I do that for a while. And I'm like, this feels great. And then the guilt sets in. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not supposed to be feeling great and feeling happy and doing these things. Oh, it's just crazy. Have you felt that way? I know a lot of people have felt that way. I know I'm not the only one. At least I hope. I mean, not I hope as in I don't want other people to feel this way. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, if I am the only one that feels this way, then I guess I really am truly cuckoo bananas, right? I mean, I kind of am, but then I really am. You know what I mean? But I'm still achieving things today. I'm still getting things done. I may have like a crap ton going on in my brain. I may have a lot rattling around there, and I may be, getting things done in an unconventional way. And sure, maybe I'm thinking I have to reward myself. But then I'm like, is that bad? That's not bad either, to reward yourself for doing a good job and have that mentality, because maybe that is what keeps us going, maybe that is what keeps us motivated. Maybe people that are competitive, they like to do that. Competitive people usually like to have that motivation of a reward, to be like, well, if I get this done, I've earned that. Sometimes that's a good thing. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe that's a great thing. That's not so bad. And then I'm like, look, it is what it is. Why do I need to delve into the whole psyche behind why I do shit, If I'm not hurting anyone and I'm not hurting myself, but then I'm like, but I am hurting myself because I'm not sleeping because I think of this shit. And then that begins a whole other thing. You see where I'm going with this? Ugh, yay. But I'm going to focus on the fact that, look, I've achieved a lot today. I got a lot done, and I've balanced, all about that balance, all about that balance. Anyway, yeah. I did some fun things, and I achieved a lot. Then I did some fun things, then I got some shit done. So my next step is I'm going to brush my teeth, because I admit I have not done so yet because I've been all woo and cleaning. I'm going to take my kiddos on a walk if it's not too toasty out there. I don't want their feet. This is a reminder to everybody. If you have a pet, remember paw pads. The pads of a dog and cat's feet are not, they can feel the heat. If it is hot to the touch of the palm of your hand, if it's hot to your hand, then it's hot to their feet. It's hot to their paws. So you need to put on booties on dogs, like shoes on dogs, if you're going to walk them when it is hot outside, because it really does burn. You are burning their paw pads if you take them out on the hot concrete or hot asphalt. If it's too hot for you to walk barefooted, then it is too hot for them to walk barefooted. They need to have booties on. Same with if it's super duper cold, that's they can get frostbite too. So that is why you see huskies during the Iditarod, they've got little booties on and shit. So, I just be mindful of that. It's nothing more. My kids get really embarrassed because I'm a total Karen. If you see me, I am not going to lie. I'm an absolute Karen, although I don't think it's a Karen. If you see someone getting abused, or a child or an animal getting abused, or someone about ready to get stabbed, you're going to say something. You're going to intervene. That's not being a Karen. That's called caring. So if I see a dog that someone is walking in 90-degree weather on the asphalt, I'm going to say something about it, because you're you're legitimately burning your dog's feet to where they can get second and third degree. You can burn off their paw pads. I'm not trying to be graphic, but it is a really big deal, and people really need to understand that. And of course, not leaving dogs in a car, even with the windows cracked open. If it's hot, it's hot. And it's 10 degrees hotter in a car than it is outside. So please, 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 I hope that we all know this by now. Anyway, I don't want to end on that note. That's like, that's an icky note. We're going to end on the fact that I have achieved a lot. And if you're out there and you're spinning in circles and your mind's all, take that breath and remember that you don't have to get everything done at once. You can prioritize. You can make a list. I love making lists. You can prioritize, and you get it done in any order you want. As far as, prioritize as in the things that need to get done immediately and the things that can wait. And then the things that need to get done immediately, if it's like cleaning, for example, hey, if you're one that goes into one room and cleans a little, another room cleans a little, at least you're cleaning, right? At least you're making progress. At least you're achieving something. So pat yourself on the back for that. And if you need to take a break and reward yourself, do it. Or if you're one that just wants to get it all done and then reward yourself after it's all done, do it too. Or if you feel like sitting on your ass because you've been working hard and you don't want to clean a damn thing or achieve anything other than just relaxing, fuck yeah, do that too. Whatever it is you're doing, I'm super glad, I'm super happy that you've been listening to the ramblings of an insomniac. I really, really appreciate every single person that's been tuning in. And I hope that you tell a neighbor and tell a friend and tell a coworker and a spouse and whoever, and you shout it. Shout it. What are we shouting? What are we shouting? Listen to the ramblings of an insomniac. We're going to shout that. That's going to be like a bumper sticker. We're going to tell as many people as we can to listen to this podcast, right? That's how, you can reward yourself, is by listening to the ramblings of an insomniac after you get something done, right? Anyway, thank you so much. And until next time.